There's a 5-step framework that I've uncovered for this. It pretty much helps me to quickly understand and determine whether or not I'm working with something that actually has legs or whether it's something that's probably not going to really go there. Okay. All right, y'all, I'm back. Part 1, vetting an idea. How do you tell if your idea has longevity? There's a 5-step framework that I've uncovered for this. It pretty much helps me to quickly understand and determine whether or not I'm working with something that actually has legs or whether it's something that's probably not going to really go there. So this is step 1 in the framework. Is it solving a problem? Is it addressing a need? Even though at face value, it might seem like an idea is a good one because 9 times out of 10, it does at least address your need or an immediate need. There are other situations, though, where it might not be as straightforward. You might really not be addressing a need at first. You might just have a really cool idea. It is up to you to uncover whether or not somebody needs what you're giving, needs what you're providing. And a need can come, it can come about in a number of different ways. For instance, I have this idea called the Doing Me app, right? Like, I've not trademarked or patented anything, but this is a metaverse based app or experience where you can shop, you can have digital lunch with other friends who are in the metaverse, you can window shop, you can purchase exclusive items within the metaverse from known stores that you shop with today in the real 3D life, but maybe you can buy exclusive options from them, exclusive pieces. So I imagine almost like a Fifth Avenue or Rodeo Drive experience, like restaurants, nice, vibey. Something that you literally like, you in there with your friends, they're in there too, everybody got their headset on, and you're talking about whatever you want to talk about. You're hanging out, you're ordering brunch at this fake restaurant, like, you know what I'm saying, but you're spending quality time with your people. Maybe it's family brunch, who knows, but after that you guys walk down the street, you see other people in the metaverse walking past. It's a 100% digital reality experience. And then within that, there's shopping. There are stores. There might be a TJ Maxx. There might be a Tiffany & Co., right? Maybe you can also only buy exclusive metaverse dog tags from this digital Tiffany experience. Just saying, right? Like, at face value, you might say, well, who is that solving a problem for? Who is that solving a need for? But then when you peel the layers back, you might uncover that there are people who maybe have handicaps, maybe have social anxieties. They don't get out or can't get out for whatever given reason. A metaverse experience, though, provided that there aren't that many barriers to entry for the consumer, could actually be solving a problem and a need for them. When you talk about togetherness, people getting together, people getting to see their loved ones even though they live far away, could a digital experience like that actually be addressing a need? You could argue that it would. So the problem that your idea is solving might not always be obvious to everybody, but I do encourage you to always think about what kind of problem could that idea solve? Even if you have an idea without a problem attached to it initially, think it through. Who could this be really good for? It could be a really tiny audience to begin with, but if you start there, you might really have something. All right? Of the framework, step 2, is this a new idea or is this something that is already being addressed? Is this in flight in some type of way? You will often hear me talk about blue ocean strategy and a blue ocean. The opposite would be like a red ocean, I guess you could say. But when you think about it, it's really just like, is this open sea? Is this open opportunity? Is this a blank space that I get to play in? Is this really a sandbox for me to play in? or is somebody already in the space doing something here? Now, this is something that I want to touch on because people often get scared away or like deterred from their idea if somebody else is doing it. Like, no. You should be encouraged if you are doing research on a business or you are exploring a business opportunity of any kind and you see that there is a player in that space, you should feel encouraged. And I'm going to tell you why after I take this last swig of my coffee. That means that all of the research that is required to get into this space, all of the interviews, all of the product market fit, all of the who in the hell would buy this questions that come up, someone's already answering them. All you have to do is carve out your lane within that space. But a lot of that groundwork, like, it takes money to be an innovator. It takes bread, it takes investment, it takes research and development in order to enter a space. If somebody is already innovating in that space, 9 times out of 10, it is probably a company that has a lot of money behind them, a lot of resources behind them. Let them use that money to explore that open sea. Let them use their investment money. You just heard that they got a $1 billion investment. Let them use that. Doesn't mean you can't come in and play there. You know, use what they learn. It's the same as like day to day, like being a person and knowing a struggle that somebody else went through and deciding that you need to go through that struggle too. Like, you don't need to do the same. Like, hello, Hov did that, so hopefully you don't have to go through that. You saw it. Now you can learn and improve, execute at a higher level, maybe in a different space with all of the learning lessons that company had the bread to pay for that you probably don't. Okay. Don't get discouraged if a company is already playing in a space that you want to be in. It's okay. That is step 2 of your framework. You want to understand that when you're vetting or trying to decipher whether or not your business idea is a good one. Okay. Step 3, the idea person, could be you, could be a family member. Are they already in this industry in some capacity? If the answer is no, you must ask yourself, what are the long-term plans? Because there are people who get into new industries and invest in new industries, start businesses in new industries that they are not a part of, and you can achieve success. Shout out to my yoga instructor, Peloton, Chelsea Jackson Roberts. She always talks about the importance and the strength of existing in the both and. So I'm not putting no limits on you. You can do everything that you want to do. But my point is, if you don't know nothing about fabrics, about how the way the clothes fit, about what people are buying, about how shipping and handling services work, how do you manage your SKUs, how do you manage your inventory, where do you keep your inventory? If all of those questions feel very foreign to you, you might not want to be opening a boutique on your own. This is an opportunity for you to seek out a business partner. That would be my recommendation. If you are trying to invest in a space where you do not already play in that industry in some type of way, even if it's adjacent, it's experience that you can capture, that you can include, that you can fall back on and reference. You know enough to be dangerous. That is enough to do business. But if you truly have nothing to do with that industry, 1, be mindful of it. Don't shy away from it or pretend like it's not a thing. It is a thing, and it is a knowledge gap. No one will be at more of a disadvantage for that than you. If you truly do not know anything about the business that you are trying to invest in or trying to enter in, or you don't know anything about the market that you're trying to enter into, just get a business partner. And I know that sounds like easier said than done, but you will be happy you did. You will be very happy you did. These last 2 parts of the framework are very they're internal dialogue questions, but they are important because all of this is connected to using your gut. You're not going to be walking around with no piece of paper when the next time somebody comes to you and says, I got this business idea. And you're going to have to understand how to navigate through this. And a lot of it will be based on what it is you're feeling in your gut. Step 4, does it make sense? Does it make sense to you? If somebody explains their business idea and you're like, okay, but then how would but there's a gap in the idea itself, which is okay, because every idea is not going to come to us like completely fleshed out, completely clear, like this is exactly what this should look like. But you should always ask yourself, bottom line, does it make sense? Watch it in your mind's eye. Like, actually go step by step with that as a person who would be using the product. If you could see the vision, if you could be like, oh yeah, and then you do this and then you do that, and then that's called synchronicity, that's energy, that's the vibration is, you know what I'm saying? You see the vision. That's what you want to happen when somebody comes to you with a good business idea. If you looking at them like this, like, no. Don't be afraid to use AI to like round out a business idea. Don't be afraid to use AI to help think about how you might go about solving a problem, or how you might go about connecting two dots. Don't be afraid to type in a question and be like, how might I go about building a company like this? And let AI tell you. You'll be surprised what you find, and you don't have to use exactly what they spit out from there, but you know how brainstorming works, because you're a creative entrepreneur. You riff and you take and you give and you take and you give, and then you end up with something that's actually really dope. So don't be afraid to use AI to help you add a bit of color or fill in any gaps in your ideation as you're going through this process. Step 5, would you use it? Would you use it? Do you see the vision is one thing, but the answer can still be no if somebody asks you if you would use it. So be honest with yourself, and also understand that, again, this is another one of those questions that it's not necessarily make or break. I wouldn't use it, but I know at least 5 people who would. That's a solid business idea, but you have to be honest with that as well. And hopefully, if you're coming up with an idea or a business concept or app or product or whatever, it is my hope that your answer is always yes when you ask yourself, would I use it? Because, like, what are we doing if not? All right. So that's your 5-step framework for how to vet an idea and to tell whether or not it has longevity. Is it solving a problem? Is it a new idea, or is this already being addressed somewhere in the marketplace? The idea person, do they currently work in the industry or the market that they're trying to enter? It's a viable question. It's a valid question. Depending on how close or far removed they are from that industry, it may be that those people need a business partner. It may be wise to get a business partner. Step 4, does it make sense to you? Can you see the vision? Not just the immediate idea and launch of an app, but the full vision. The vision far beyond this moment, the vision, brand, partnerships, growth, expansion beyond your local community. If that's something that you want to do, how far do you want to take it? And can this get you there? The 5th, would you use it? Would you use it? Again, this is a very scrappy way to think this through. I think of this as a framework for you to reference anytime. Remember that the limit does not exist. Know yourself and understand where you are always going to shine and where you need help. Yeah. Talking to you. Next. Yes, I'm checking my notes. Okay. Oprah here. In part 2, we're going to be chatting about researching to validate your hypothesis for your business. So now that you've vetted your idea, you're sure that it's good, you're sure that this probably is an opportunity for you, your gut says go with it, you can see the vision, you would use the product. What's next is formulating a hypothesis and validating that hypothesis with research. And that's what we're going to chat about in part 2. So, see you there.